And so we press the big bed, big bed button, and perhaps the big red button, because it's Friday. It's Pi Day Friday. It's dramas. Hey, everybody. Oh, man, I got volumes here. Sorry, guys. Stand by. I'm going to have a feedback problem. Where is that coming from? There it is. Okay. What a week. What a week. Oh, I can't begin to describe it all, but I will. So simple little mistakes like that. I thought I had all my ducks in a row, and that's one of the things I don't have documented to do because it's so obvious. Just do it. And off we go. Well, it has been an amazing week. Can't wait to tell you about it. But I am so glad to be here with you today. I am among my friends. I am among my colleagues. And that just is very helpful. I've been very isolated over the last 5 days. Why did I do that? Goodness gracious. There we go. For reasons that if you don't already know from hanging out on Discord, you'll find out. I look very fuzzy right now. I made a change to my camera angle as with all the other stuff going on today, and it's fuzzy. And if I change it now, it'll get worse. So I ain't gonna do that. If he's not coming in, you can leave that open. Okay. Yeah, so we got back channel internal home communication going on because of all of the big stuff that's been happening all week. Man, something. All right, well, anyways, you don't need to hear about that yet. Let's get started on what we're doing. Today is Friday. It's November 19th. We are almost through November. If you're in the United States, we got Thanksgiving coming up in less than a week, and then the holiday season starts, and a little bit of December, and on and on and on and on. So, as I age, and as some of you are maybe approaching some of the coloration that you see here, you know how much more quickly time continues to go. That happens, right? You're in your 20s and you can't believe how fast this year went compared to when you were in your teens. And then it happens again in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s. And it just, time compresses, time dilates. It never stops. You'll never cease to be amazed at how fast this last year has gone. Oh my goodness, they're changing fans around upstairs. It suddenly ramped up to much louder. Let me know if there's a fan noise problem. I'll see if there's anything I can do about it. I maybe just have him turn them off for the next 2 hours. And now it's faded away, so good. All right, well, welcome to Pi Day Friday drama. I am Dave Rush. This is an Ask Me Anything, hence, thank you, back channel. Hence, therefore, this is Dave Rush Ask Me Anything, or drama, and it's dramas for a reason we'll get into. I am David Rush. I'm the senior instructor at Total Seminars and resident Pi specialist. I can't call myself a guru, but I do enjoy the things. We have a lot of fun with that, so we call this thing drama. We get together every Friday, 2 o'clock Central Time, and talk about CompTIA certification efforts and studying, and how we can use Raspberry Pis to participate in those and help speed along and illustrate some of the things we learn in the various CompTIA certification programs. So it is my pleasure to join you every Friday as we host Pi Day Friday. I am joined on time this week by my partner in Pi, Scott Jernigan. He's not on camera today. He's working the back channel. He's had a busy week himself and had to miss some time for other events. And so he's playing catch up, but he is moderating the back channel with his ever so tolerant and patient, but feisty banhammer when needed. Talk to him, send him an @Scott or a #Scott. I think both of those work in the YouTube chat. And he will talk with you, and he researches and answers questions for me in the back channel, helps me out here. And on occasion, we're waiting for this his current book and current projects to take a break, and he will join us once again, I believe, on camera in near future. Really like doing a show with him. Oh, checking my notes. Hey, Andrew Hutz is also here back channel. So Andrew Hutz is a longtime participant in Discord and Mike's AMAs and my AMAs, and he joined us earlier this year. I don't know, 6 months ago, something like that. He too wields the band hammer, does research. Very, very knowledgeable person. If you want to get together and talk tech, talk coding, talk security stuff, he's becoming our guy. He's very knowledgeable. So let's just do ways to do that. So you can contact me. This is an AMA. You can contact myself or Scott or Andrew via the chat channel. But if you're not here, you got a long question, you're shy, whatever your reason, you don't or can't use the chat channel, there are other ways to communicate with any or all of us. We share the screen and it goes like this, click. And so you can email us. I am Dave Rush and I work for Total Seminars. So you'll find me as daver@totalsem.com. Scott Jernigan also works there, scottj@totalsem.com. And I keep promising, and I never remember to put Andrew on here, but he's Andrew Hutz. So Andrew H@totalsem.com will get you there. There's other ways to contact us here. You can freeze your screen and study them should you need to do so. But those methods are the quickest, easiest ones to get in short contact with you. Somebody today is going to need to send me an email at the address listed there, daver@totalsem.com, because somebody today is going to win a CompTIA test voucher, absolutely free of charge. Any test in the CompTIA spectrum except cybersecurity analysts for reasons that they haven't explained and we don't care. But so I will have a contest today. I beg your pardon. I have construction going on in the house. I have destruction and construction. I have been inhaling gypsum dust for a week. And as if my throat weren't already scratchy from a couple of weeks ago of whatever issue grabbed my throat, it has totally exacerbated it. And I just sound like a monster. I apologize for that. I will try to avoid coughing in your ear much. Okay, that's all over back channel. So what are we doing here? We're here to advance technical learning while isolated during the COVID crisis. This is the 68th in a series of weekly dramas, right? Dramas, because it's drama and Scott, to show how to use Raspberry Pi and study in real world creations. We started a project last week, creating a motion activated time clock. We did the programming and the software to do, it's just not just motion activated, it's a one more time, motion activated talking time clock. Yeah, that's our project. So we did part one last week. We did some exploring on the speech synthesizer and on writing scripts in order to get the right verbiage that we want and working with variables. Cool bananas. The next part is the hardware, the motion activated. And it didn't happen this week because of all of the demolition and reconstruction, pardon me. And I'll fill you in on that. So today is an open topic day, which means we may or may not run short. You got questions, I'm going to take questions until we're out. And we will, of course, not close the show down until we do the contest. We had enough questions last week to run the full time. And you guys were very kind and very patient to stop posting questions while we did the presentation, other than the related ones. And then when the presentation was done, questions kind of blasted through again. So I think we may be able to run the whole 2 hours. We'll see how it goes, but we're certainly going to take questions, a lot of them. I'm going to take my time on the show today. Not going to speed through stuff that I don't need to. And I will on stuff that's boring. I get bored too. Goodness gracious. Heads up, Scott, my power, well, one of the UPSs is blinking in here saying we may have a power issue. The construction people are messing with very large, high-powered fans right now, and they may shut me down. So Scott will still be here and can come on and save the day until I get back, if I wind up going away. We do AMAs 3 times a week. Mike does 2 of them, one on Monday and one on Wednesday, 2 o'clock, this same channel. And then I do this one at 2 o'clock on Fridays. Our focus is getting Raspberry Pi computers to advance our skills and knowledge, prepare for CompTIA exams, and to expand our abilities in real world computing. And especially, if you're looking to play, learn a little bit about Linux, playing with just physically small computers that have this awesome ability to extend into electronics and optics and so much more. It's just a fun toy. Oh man, much more than a tool. How was that? A fun tool. So we do encourage you to ask questions. Our bailiwick, A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, IT Fundamentals Plus, but we'll go any topic that tickles your fancy that's technical, and any other topic as long as it's not political or religious. All right, so I showed the contact information. I'm caught up on that. And all right, that's enough of my notes for a while. Let's see who's here and what's going on today. Oh, goodness, people, lots of fun people in here. Tulwood, I got your message on the on Discord about your short thing. Cool that you're working on a wedding this weekend, so have a good rehearsal and practice and all that good stuff. Greetings, bearded IT dad at 149. Also saw you joined Discord the other day. That was cool. Alan Duggan is here as ever and always. Nice to see you, good friend. Scott Jernigan himself, the man. I didn't give you all his credentials, and that's because I don't have 2 years, but credentials: senior editor at Total Seminars, author, co-author, minstrel, and and Olympic class swimmer, amazingly. Yeah, things you didn't know about him. So and a heck of a ballroom dancer, I'm given to understand, though I haven't danced with him myself. Andre de Goyer's here. Greetings, fellow nerds. Ready for another drama? I know I am. Yeah. Andre, I did not do the research that you asked me to do about the shipping status of your product. I apologize for that. I will contact Kathy after the show today. She sent me a link, so all I got to do, I sent you the link, I thought. Check that link. There's supposed to be I think we sent a shipping link. Look in your email or Discord notes. I think we had a private chat. We talked about that. And again, I will do follow up on that after the show today. Apologize for that. TD Washington has changed names, formerly AVNut. AVNut. You know what? It's so much easier to pronounce, TD Washington. So thank you very much. Now there will be no questions about it. Ruben Rodriguez, a new face and a new name. Thank you, sir. At 2 o'clock right on time. Hello, sir. Ulysses is here. Sup, my man. And my friend, and you're not my man here. There we go. Ooh, another new name. We're kicking it today. Word's getting out about our freebie vouchers, huh? And I'll take that. I don't care what reason you're here is. I just like to have people to talk to. So, Frankie Galindo, the handicap. I just passed my IC3 exam. Wow, nice. Congratulations. I haven't heard anybody take IC3 in a long time. So that does my heart good. And Scott, I think, has a special place in his heart for IC3. So yeah, there he goes. Woo, congratulations. Can't hear it. Good. Yeah, he turned it really loud, whatever he did a second ago, but then it faded back. But I do have the office door closed to help things out a little bit. Got my overhead fan going. Sound is fine, says the man. The whole name, I like that. It's not just TD Washington and then parentheses. That's now part of your name. TD Washington, aka AVNut, in quotes. Got it. As you get older, 1 year does indeed blend into the next. Hello, Catherine. Glad I was able to help you out with your info. I didn't have a chance to follow up with you on that. I imagine you kind of asked about that because you're considering doing something similar. Find out. Patricia Grace. Hello, nerds. And Patricia Grace, for those folks who are here who have not yet joined us on the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel, back channel, if you guys would post a link for that, I'll post one up here. I want to talk about it for a moment. Let me bring the page up. Discord, unofficial Total Discord channel is there. And then we share it because we're nice people. All right, so this is the link to this week's link, invitation link to the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel. It's unofficial because it's not owned, operated, or actually has anything to do with Total Seminars, the organization. This was created by our good friend Jose Braden to talk about the show and talk about topics that Mike talks about. And it has grown and expanded in the last 9.5 months like crazy. I checked the body count yesterday. We are 8 people away from 500 people participating on that server from all walks of background. We got professionals and experts in all kinds of fields, certainly in computer fields, beginners, and everyone in between. We've got all kinds of sub forums on there, from Linux to computer tech help to study groups and Raspberry Pis, and on and on and on and on. So we invite you to join us there. We get together after these shows with mics and cameras and have sort of face-to-face confabs, but you don't have to. Just come on in and type in the general forum. We'll see it and we'll talk to you about you. But it's a lot more interesting when I can do it and read or hear you talk to me and give me a paragraph or two about an issue or a question, instead of trying to squeak it into 200 characters on the YouTube chat channel, right? So it's on the, it'll be posted on the back on the YouTube feed, and you can always just pause this there. There we go. Discord link posted at 2:14. It does change every week. If you're getting this late, you're watching this drama show weeks from now or something like that, and you try this link and it says expired, just look around that page. Even expired links will work, because there's some place on that page that says something to the akin of do it anyways, continue anyways, and you'll find a way. So Patricia Grace this morning, I didn't know what time that was, but both her and I and possibly some others were up at my time, 3 a.m. to watch the peak of the big, long developing lunar eclipse, 3 hours in development and release, which is the longest time in 580 years. I just took a cell phone picture. It's fuzzy, it's blurry, but you can get the idea. It's all kind of reddish and orange with just a tiny little thumbnail of some white. It wasn't 100% coverage. It was 97, but Patricia posted one. It was a very pretty picture because it had some thin cloud cover around it. Very nice. Okay. 2:05. By the way, I have my timestamps showing up. You can toggle timestamps on your messages, so you'll know where I'm at. If you posted a question, just note the time that you posted it. And if you see that Dave is answering a comment at 2:05, yours may be before or after. If yours is after that, I'll get to it. And if I missed it, that happens on occasion, just post it again. It's not a problem. So at 2:05, Brent Peterson, time seems to go faster as you age because you essentially do the same things every day, week, and month. Okay. Yeah, that's certainly one of the reasons. I super scrolled. Oh, hey, when that happens, there we go. Okay, catching up. There we go. It was 2:05, right? That's easy enough to remember. If I see messages that you've posted, it says at somebody else's name, not mine, I just zip by it because you're having a conversation with them, and that's more than fine. Andrew Hutz is indeed contactable. He's also contractable. Wilson Kunzwana, I believe I met you on, saw you on Mike's AMA the other day. Welcome. Nice. Thanks for coming here. Get another chance at winning a voucher if you didn't win one over on Mike's show. That's kind of cool. Mike, I see conversation between each other. Andre says Wilson's talking to Scott, and Scott talks back, and making it to 2:10 now. Are you guys still working from home, or do you go back to the office too? Scott and Mish. Mostly we work from home. We pop into the office when there's a resource down there that we need, or if we need to do something there. But by and large, I'm going to call us 98.75% working from home. I do miss going into the office. I don't miss the office. It's a cubicle, a big deal. But though I do have it decorated nicely, mine. But I miss being able to get up and walk down the hallway. And what you working on, Michael? What you working on, Scott? Hey, what'd you do this weekend? I have good stuff about what I did this weekend. We'll talk about that. Moving on here, passing to 10. Jeremy Parker. Okay, what's the difference between VPN and Pi-hole? Are they the same thing? Thank you for an excellent question. They are not the same thing. In fact, they have almost nothing in common. So let's talk about what one is. A VPN, a virtual private network. A virtual private network is a connection between two devices, two hosts, two networks, a host and a network, a host and a host, you get the idea, over a network. And what they do is they create an encrypted and encryption between them. Everybody uses terms like encrypted tunnel and encrypted channel. Okay, those are valid technical terms, but bottom line, it says, I want to establish a connection with your network. In fact, I work for you. The same
I guess this is where I jump in, since Dave seems to have frozen. Hello, everyone. I'm Scott Jernigan. I'm the S part of Dramas. Since Dave seems to. Yeah, give me a second to rearrange my screens here so I can actually see your chat. Can you hear me? Is one thing. I'll wait. So, as Dave mentioned, I'm the editor-in-chief for Total Seminars and a frequent contributor to Mike Meyer's books and author in my own right as well. And Andre, yeah, okay, excellent. Hopefully Dave will pop back up here in a minute. I'm connecting via my laptop, so all of your questions are off there to the right. I'll get to those in a minute. Dave was answering, I believe, what's the difference between a VPN and a pie hole? And I can jump in and answer that question as well. So a VPN, as Dave was starting to talk about, is connections between two devices. Often you use a VPN to connect your local machine to your office network, for example, and it's done encrypted so that it's a secure connection. Hold that thought. Yes, Dave? Okay. Okay. Why don't you log in via via your phone? Log in via your phone. Yeah. So I'm talking to the crowd right now. Bye. So Dave's power is down, and yeah. So VPN. A pie hole is very different. A pie hole is a way of setting up a Raspberry Pi to sit on the edge of your network and essentially block all ads from ever coming in. It is amazing use of a $30 computer. It doesn't slow your system down at all. In fact, one of the very first shows that Dave did on Friday Pi Day was to show people how to create a pie hole. And if I were quicker on my fingers, I would go look that up in the archives, but you can do a search in the Total Seminars channel for pie hole. And Dave walks you through the process. It's not hard. And it's a great use of a Raspberry Pi. So let's see what other questions we have going on. And you will occasionally see the kitten in the background. Wait, there she is. Monster kitty is what I call her, especially this time of the day, where she sometimes goes on rampages and wanders around, races through the house, and jumps out from underneath things and attacks randomly, although she never uses her claws. So it's play. Very fun. So she might do something weird, like chew her tail. So yeah, okay. Awesome. Let's see, where did he leave off? Majdi, I'm gonna hold off on Chamaud and Chown and let Dave answer that. He's more of a Linux guy than I am, so he should pop in here in a minute. And the bearded IT dad at 219, if you win a voucher, can you give it to someone else? There's nothing that says you can't be the winning proxy for somebody else. You would simply, when it comes time to, if you win the voucher, when you send in your credentials, essentially, just say the credentials of the person who is going to win. So that would be a very kind and generous gift. But of course you can do that. Yeah, Catherine, right? I was enjoying Dave's explanation too. Oh, here we go. Dave is coming back on. He is currently muted, but we'll see what happens. And it really is there you go. Hey, Dave.
Yeah, I didn't know if I could join my own session. Okay, so I'm back. Okay, I've asked them to turn off some equipment. I might be able to do this for real.
Okay.
Stand by, I'm gonna disconnect from here.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
I hope.
Yeah. Thanks, Wilson. I appreciate that. Joey Quetzal. Hello to you. Yeah, I was not expecting to join the drama today. I spent the day and the last few days with Mike Myers, working on an outline for an upcoming book that I can't talk about. So there you go. But that process is very fun, and looking forward to the kitten destroying my curtains. So it's all good. It's all good. So if you have questions, now's the time to ask. The cat, right? Yeah. All right, let's see what Dave looks like now. If he's connecting via his phone, or no, he's back in the studio.
Okay, I am back in studio. You are the host right now.
Okay, and as soon as I log off, well, so you can't share anything.
You'll still be, no, I can share unless you make me, I assume I can share. Let me see. Let me just share something and see what shares.
Sure.
This looks like something safe to share. Yeah. Okay, I'm in the corner. Is that sharing?
It is sharing.
Okay, good.
Sharing to me.
All right. If it shares to you, shares to everybody. Meeting is now streaming live on custom. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. The contractors plugged in some big heavy equipment, and I've lost your sound. Oh no, I haven't.
I stopped speaking.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I see what's going on. Anyways, I don't know if I could blame contractors, but I unplugged every piece of networking equipment and replugged it all back in, and we seem to be back. It is a new modem as part of this whole process. So, all right, where'd you leave off, Scott?
I have I answered your question on the
VPN pie hole.
The VPN versus pie hole. You might want to wax a little more poetic on the pie hole. I did tell them about the basic purpose of it, but didn't go through any of the kind of setup steps or any of that stuff. Did point to where to find the video that you did.
Sounds
and then
good.
I completely skipped. Hold up.
That thing that was so important.
There's a 214. Majda has a good question that you will want.
Okay, very good. Thank you for saving the day, Scott. I love Zoom and its ability to preserve itself when the owner goes away.
Right? Awesome.
Cool.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Enjoy.
Sure. So the pie hole is it's a DNS server, right? When you make a call to DNS, what normally happens is you call your ISPs. You don't call it. It happens as a background task. You put in the name of some fully qualified domain name, www.coolplace.com. I don't know if that exists, and I wouldn't go try and find out, because if it does, it's probably horrible. Excuse me. Well, your computer can't work with that. He says, I don't understand what www or coolplace or .com means. I only understand IP addresses. And that's why we have DNS servers out there. So your utility makes a call to a DNS server that was set up when it connected to your ISP or was set up, excuse me, when you set up your IP settings. And so there's some IP oriented DNS server out there, and your program, your browser, whatever, goes out, calls that server and said, hey, my user is referring to www.coolplace.com. Can you find out for me what that IP address is? He says, I sure can. And maybe he has it, or maybe he has to call some other DNS servers. And when the result comes through, it gets sent back to your browser, and your browser is able to build an appropriate IP packet or header, and cool bananas. So Pi-hole is a DNS server that does that, but it has one extra little piece to it. When some fully qualified domain names come in, or some IP addresses come in, there's a filter. It says, oh, this is a common thing that's a problem. It's whatever. It's a spam site. It's a known malware site. It's a whatever. And so it won't bother to go look that up and get you the IP address. It'll just ignore it. It drops it in a black hole, evaporates it. And so your system will never get a response back. Well, now that looks like a problem, but here's the solution. First of all, it doesn't kill things when necessary. If it's the main thing you're trying to go to, I got to go to www.coolplace.com. Here's what its intent is. When you go to www.coolplace.com, let's just short that to Cool Place. There's 47 ads that get sent to your browser, and they're all done by look up the ad at ad.com, at ad1.com. And so when your browser says, oh, I got to go look that up, he calls your Pi-hole DNS server, and your Pi-hole DNS server says, nah, I don't look those up. Those are problematic. And so it just ignores them, doesn't send them out, doesn't look up IP addresses. And so we use this thing as one of the many tools that exist which allow us to stop advertising. There are tons and tons and tons, thousands of lists out there, excuse me, that you can add. There's default lists. So again, they're very different animals, VPNs and Pi-holes. Pi-hole, they also call Pi-hole a sinkhole. It's an advertising sinkhole. I do have a link where we installed Pi-hole and configured it. It's very, very easy to do. And since everything has gone haywire this far, how much more trouble would it be for me to look that up? None at all. Stand by. Pi-hole. Pi-hole was updated at the end of December. Dave illustrates where in the Pi-hole. Okay, let's try it this way. I'm probably looking at the wrong document. I have two documents open. I don't remember when we did this, if we did it in 2021 or 2020. So that just looked in the 2020 list. Let me check the 2020, whatever. I looked in one, I'm looking in the other. Pi-hole. Next week, we'll do Pi-hole, close and done. So we look there, there we go. Installing Pi-hole with Dave Rush. Okay, so I have, I got pushed back to the following because there were so many questions on, okay, now this guy, we're all right. I'm about to post a link in the YouTube chat on our episode on doing a Pi-hole installation. Got to clean it up a little bit. It's too long because of some notes I made on that thing. Back next week, clear that. And we are now under 200 characters. So at the current time mark, which is about 2:34 my time, 34 minutes past the first hour, you can check that out, how to install your own Pi-hole. They are awesome. I have been running mine now for approaching years. I did it years ago, and then I stopped doing it, and then I got excited about it again. So I fired up one somewhere back in 2020, and excuse me. Then I made a show about it. So it's cool bananas. They run like a clock. They just run. All right, catching up on questions here now. I think we were around 2:11 or so. Sorry about that delay. That was just weird. We have the Discord invite link at 2:14. Wilson retracted his command. There we go. So Scott said there was a good question right here. 2:14 from Majdi. Greetings, Majdi. Nice to see you again. Hello, and everyone. Happy Friday. I have a question regarding chmod command and the chown command. Can you please explain this command? Sure. Chmod. In Linux, every file has a set, and every directory has a set of permissions. 3 of them: read, write, execute. And there are 3 sets of them: 1 for the owner of the file, 1 for everyone who's a member of the first group that the owner is a member of, and the 3rd set for anybody who encounters this file. And I'm not going to get all really deep into all that stuff, but recognize there's an RWX for the owner, there's an RWX for the group, we'll just call it the group, and there's an RWX for everyone, or there's a --, no permissions for this. It is the chmod command, and you always have to use chmod with sudo or run the sudo su command first in order to modify these commands. So if I want to take, let's say I just made a brand new bash script file. So I use some text editor like nano, run nano, create a file, save it. Now, as soon as I save it, for me, I have read and write permissions on this thing because I'm the creator. They automatically get read writes, but it's not runnable as a program yet. We have to set the X permission on it so that it can be executed like a program. And so I would use the chmod command and give all 3 groups, myself, my group, and everyone, the ability to execute this thing. I might say chmod, yes, sudo chmod plus X, excuse me, name of the file. When you do that, then it automatically gives an X to the user, an X to the group, and an X to the everyone session. Let me bring up a server here real quick and show that to everyone, because I'm just looking for another reason to crash the network, right? Okay, VNC, Drama Blue, that's a good server to bring up. Raspberry. I did one in here just the other day, and I'll do another one real quick. But I'll show you one that has the permissions, and then I'm going to change it with chmod, or I'll make another file real quick with chmod, and we'll do a chmod. And then I'll talk briefly about chown, which is really quick and really painless. So first we go into here and we share this. All right, here's a Raspberry Pi server running Linux. Chmod and chown are Linux commands. So first of all, I'm just going to do an ls command in here. There's some files that are in here. And over here, we see this time.sh file. So I'm going to do an ls -l on time.sh so I can see some details on it. Hey, look at that. So this first dash tells me that this is a file, not a directory. And then the first 3 permissions, RWX, those apply to the owner. Next 3 permissions are blank X. So anybody who's the member of my primary group, they can read it and they can execute it, but they can't change it. They can't write to it. And the same goes for everyone. There's another R blank X. Now let's say I make a brand spanking new file. Let me clear this thing. And I'm going to make a file. You can just create a file out of the blue by using the command touch. I've never talked about that in class. Touch test file dot, I don't care. Doesn't even need an extension. How about just touch test file? Bam, do an ls. And there it is, test file. This particular shell program helps you identify the status of files and directories by colors. So I know just by looking at this in this particular bash shell, since it's not green, it's not executable, but let's take a look. ls -l test file. And there you go. So even it's not executable to anybody. So we'll use our friend chmod, sudo chmod plus X test file. Add the X permission for everybody because I didn't do any exclusions and I didn't specify anybody here to the test file. Enter. There we go. We didn't get any error messages. So whatever I did worked. Clear. Let's do an LS. Hey, there it is in green. And let's LSL minus L it. LS minus L test file. And there it is. We've added the X. So that's what chmod does. Mod is short for mode, and they mean permission modes. Now, chown, we just did a list of all the files and directories and everything that's in this folder. And you can see the Pi owner and the Pi group own all of these files. Now, I don't have another user in here, so I can't make a change. I'm not going to go through the hassle of making a new user right now. But let's say that this new file that I created, I didn't want Pi to own it. I want somebody else to own it. So I would use my old friend sudo chown. Yeah, I got to remember the syntax. Chown minus help. Don't want to do recursive. Silent client verbose. Oh, here's okay. Chown option owner or group or group, and then the name file name. Okay, so it would be chown new owner name. This would have to already exist. New guy, colon, a new group name. If I leave it blank, whatever group owns this still will. But if I had another group called, I don't know, operators, and then the name of the file, if I hit the enter key on that, well, let's hit the enter key, it'll gag. So, nope, there is no user called new guy or operators or group, so it fails. But if there was an account called new guy or operators, when we do an ls minus L on test file, we would no longer see pi, we would see new guy and operators. So that's the difference between those two commands. I don't want to exit that. I kind of like that we may use that again today. Thank you. Not only was that a great question, that did something that I always kind of envisioned would happen here. Somebody asks a question about something and we can illustrate it. So thanks. That you did me good. All right, moving on here. How are we doing on time? It's 2:42 because of our little gobbledygook. So I got a little catch up to do here, and it's okay. Patricia Grace, I'm still out of source, right? Lunar eclipse. We were then Waffle House. It's, you know, if you're going to get up, in your case, 4 o'clock in the morning for the peak, yeah, you better stay up and go to Waffle House. I'm with you. Andre, I figured out why VPN wasn't working. My ISP router has port forwarding disabled. So that was my question that I asked you yesterday. It says you forwarded the port when in reality it hasn't. Wow, that sucks. I would talk to my ISP. Did I super scroll? Yeah, I did. I just picked up some question. Okay. Okay. I don't think so. I don't think so, back channel. Because CompTIA wants the name and the email, and that's who they're going to register it to. Oh, now if you want to, you mean as a winner here. All right, I'm getting there. All right, so I left off at 2:15 here, 2:12, 2:14. Well, that was another amazing thing that I hadn't considered. Excuse me. Even though the net failed, we were still able to continue streaming to YouTube. So again, awesome. Okay, 2:18. Let me see that message you just posted. You said at 2:19. Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right, I will explain that in a second here. 2:18 here, under to go figure out. Okay, so the very next point here is where we caught up. So Bearded IT Dad, if you win a voucher, can you give it to someone else? So if you win a voucher, I send your name and your email to CompTIA and they register the voucher under that. Now, if you're asking me if I win a voucher today, can I give you somebody else's email and name? I don't know what Mike's take on that would be. Maybe think about that, and I'll talk about that when we, and the back channel is offering some thoughts. Yeah, that's fine, Scott. But again, you know, take into what I'm thinking about here. Is he talking about what would we do if they want to gift it before we send the info to CompTIA? I don't think I have a problem with that, but no matter what happens, I send stuff in from this week tonight. So whatever we're going to do, I got to get the email from or about somebody tonight. Okay, I have no more comments after 2:34, and I know there are, and that's because of the hiccup. So I'm going to fix that hiccup. Oh, I see what happened. There it is. Okay, I can get that. There we go. Pop out the replacement. That's what happened when I did a refresh. All right, we finished at 2:19. Hang on, it's going to take my system a minute to catch back up. There we go. All right. Okay, there wasn't much that came on in after that. So yeah, you know, I'll tell you what, judgment call. It's my show. I can do it my way. If you give me, when you send me the contact thing, your winner's person. Now I'm going to list you as the winner, so you can't ever win again and give it to somebody else. You're not our distributor of these freebies, but yeah, I will do that. I would really rather have whoever you're going to give it to turn up to the show and participate themselves. So this policy may change after today, but for today, executive decision. Yes, I will do that. Okay, my pleasure, Majdi. All right, Wilson at 2:46. Make sure I'm not missing anything there. Yeah, it was, I wouldn't call an awesome job of recovering, but I was certainly scrambling. Oh, wait, okay, we got lots of stuff here. Hang on, let me go back up for a second. 221. Scott is a cool cat indeed. Saved the day. Nice to meet Master Scott. Oh, you hadn't seen Scott before. That was Scott. We caught him when he was dressed in his finest. Sorry about that, Scott. You know the drill, man. There's always a chance you could wind up on air. Joey Quetzal's here. I was just hearing Scott say hi to you as we were going in. Thank you. TD Washington, good teamwork. Yes, Scott is the man. I can count on him all the time. The cat back Thank you. Oh, Scott's cat was in frame. All right, I missed that. All righty, catch the rescue. So Tullowit has gone off to do wedding rehearsal stuff. Yeah, look, I love my contractors, but I don't think they knew I was doing a show today, and they came in and got creative. They told my missus how to turn on the equipment when they get back. All right, and you're welcome, Jeremy Parker, Catherine. Here we go. Now we're getting caught up again. Back in biz. Sudo chamad, excuse me. Yes, I've never heard that command before. All right, catching up then for real. 246, Wilson posted, what causes other PCs not to get IP addresses, but when DHCP pool is allocating 200 IP addresses? I have phones, printers, and laptops, but all in all, I have 120 devices. Okay, so you have devices on your network, excuse me, that are not getting addresses from the DHCP server. You have a pool of 200 IP addresses in your DHCP server. And so you should have at least 80 to work with. All right, I'm going to go with several possibilities. One, the things that are looking for DHCP addresses aren't actually configured to receive DHCP addresses. You've got some possible configuration issue on the DHCP client. Maybe we'll call that a 50% possibility. Item two, when your DHCP server gives out an IP address, it associates that IP address with a MAC address for some period of time, depends on the setting of your DHCP server. Might be a day, might be a week, could be anything. So what happens sometimes is you get a device, he says, here's my MAC address, it's 123, give me an IP address. DHCP gives you an IP address of 1.1.1.1. I'm making these up, you couldn't actually get that address. And then your machine reboots and your DHCP server says, oh, 123 has asked for an address, and it loses track of the fact that it has already given one, leased one to MAC address 123. So it gives away another one. So this guy that has been assigned 2 IP addresses, he's not using one of them. He's only using the most current assignment, but the other one can't be assigned to anybody else until its lease expires, which may be a week away. That's possibility number 2. Possibility number 3, VLANs or subnets. DHCPs will not cross by default one VLAN to another unless you've got inter-VLAN trunking enabled, or if you're on different subnets, unless you have DHCP relay enabled, which is it's not something that most of us at this level mess around with. So those are my 3 theories. They're just theories. And what I would do is I would reboot the machine that has the DHCP server in there, clear the pool in the DHCP server, and start it all up again. You still have the same problem though. You've got to also get your 120 devices to get fresh IP addresses. So those are my theories. Anybody else, if anybody has other ideas, chime in, but I believe that it's probably one of those. Oh, way to go. Wearing my UT El Paso t-shirt. Nice, Scott. You were. Andre, are those devices configured for DHCP or static IP on it? Hey, look at that. So Andre and I thinking along the same channels, and Andre knows because he's doing this kind of support stuff these days. So kudos. All right. Caught up with questions right now at 2:50. And nice. Again, let me get back to my notes, see what's going on there. My outline. I just did something wrong. There we go. So we got specials. We got specials. We got specials. Couple more days left on this week's special. Guys in the back channel, if you'd be kind enough to toss up the special, post that up. I beg your pardon. So we have the specials that are available. Some of you are new here, that are only available to people who watch Mike's AMAs and Scott and Mai's drama. Boy, I hate that phrasing. The dramas that Scott and I do. There we go. Let me share this. And these are for bundles of ebooks and total tester practice test questions. That's not it. You can't see that. Okay, special posted at 2:52. Boy, I am just, with all this construction and destruction, a fuzzhead. I think I can't get any of my ducks in a row here. Unofficial voucher winners, AMA weekly schedule. That is the one that I wanted to share. So let me close out of that and try this again. Share. I give up. I just totally give up. I'm not allowed to give up, am I? There we go. All right, so we got ebook bundles. They come with the ebook, and they come with the total tester practice test questions. And those bundles are available for A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, CYSA Plus, Pen Test Plus, and Systems Architecture Associate, AWS. The code is wrong on this. I did make the right code. I don't know why that's there. The code is Peacock, Peacock. And what you do is you go to totalsem.com. Boy, that's weird. I don't know how I mangled that one. Load up on your loot, pick the 2 individual products, get the A+ book and the total tester for A+, or the Net Plus book and the total tester, whatever. And then when you check out, use the code Peacock, and it's posted right here at time mark 2:52 by Scott. And you will get that 50% off. It's a good price. It's basically like getting one of the 2 products for free. I think that's the way it is when I looked at the pricing on the stuff last time. No project today. Okay, so yeah, mentioned that no project today because I haven't had, because of the construction that's going on here, I did not do any kind of prep. And I will talk about that in a moment. I do have the Pi R Square server up. Back channel, if you guys would post the link to the Pi R Square server. And that's just for anybody who hasn't downloaded archive documents in the past. You want to figure out how to do Pi-hole, and you could watch the show. I encourage you to do so. But if you also want to see the outlines that I used and the drawings and the graphics and the PDFs and scripts and whatever else, it's all downloaded in there, downloadable from, you'll see it when you get there. So it's pirsquare.zapto, zapto.org. Pi-R Square is PIRSQUARE. Scott just posted it on the YouTube chat at time mark 55 minutes past the first hour. Where we've been last week, I did this, I covered this stuff. This week we're doing this. Next week is, thank you, Scott. Next week is here in the US is Friday, 1 week from today, the day after Thanksgiving. Thank you. It sure is. Weirdness. I thought if I deleted that, that would fix that. We got family coming into town to enjoy our construction. So I thought about it this week. I am not going to do a show next Friday. So the next show that I'm going to do is the following week. It's going to be December 3rd. And we're going to do part 2 of the motion activated talking clock on that date. So there will be no, I don't know, I might do a short little show just to do a voucher giveaway. Well, I'll have Mike give information on that in his show when he and I have a chance to talk about it, because that just dawned on me. I want to give away a voucher, even if I don't do anything else. Boy, what a mess this is. All right. Not doing something really odd is happening. I'm looking at a notes document that's just wrong. Oh, well, I don't need it. All right, back to questions then. I think, that's going to take care of everything that I need to do on my notes. Except this. Here we go. Okay, this is the stuff I wanted to talk about today, and that gets me all happy and healthy, and then we can talk about contests and things like that. So, news, tricks, and techniques of the week. So, as mentioned, it's a short show. It may be a short show. With that delay in there, we may wind up dragging it out, but we still got another hour to go, and I've got a giveaway between now and the end of the show, whenever it is. So stick around, call your friends. Somebody's going to win a voucher today. Whenever I do these interesting news, tricks, and techniques, it's not all technical. Sometimes it's just life and news and whatever. So last night, as mentioned, there was an almost total eclipse of the moon that was visible in North America and a little bit over west of North America out in the Pacific. It was a 97% full moon. It was the longest to develop and undevelop in the last about 600 years. So I set my alarm clock for 3 o'clock in the morning, which is when it was going to be peak. Went out there and, oh man, I was just bowled over and blown away of it. It was beautiful red, and we had marvelously clear skies here. Then just looked great with the naked eye. I tried to take a couple cell phone pics. That doesn't work out very well. My phone is just terrible at focusing at infinity. But I posted a pic on the unofficial Discord channel. As I said, Patricia Grace did the same. So join us over there. Go check those things out. And I will do the Discord channel after the show today, about 10 minutes, 10 minutes after the show. I got nothing else going on that will prevent me from doing that. Other news of the week. I'll finally straighten this out here. So last week after the show, 30 seconds after the show, we were buttoned up and on the road to Lubbock, Texas, to Texas Tech University to visit my son and catch the football game and just have a little family get together. We haven't seen each other for a while, and I haven't got to see a college football game in a couple of years since lockdowns began. So we got in at a ridiculous time of day in the morning. I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Get to bed, up at 8 o'clock with 5 hours rest. go catch the kid, go breakfast, do some stuff, and then head on over to the stadium. That was great. Man, best college football game I have seen in person in my life. Wow. I won't bore you. That's my thing, but gotta tell you, and it was one of those nail biters that came down to the unbelievably long field goal kick with no time left, 62 yards, longest kick of the NCAA this year. And wow. So spent another day there, spent the night, came back Sunday. We left late Sunday afternoon, got back here to the house at 2:00 in the morning, hour or so to unpack and wind down. And 3:00, I went to bed. Yay. At 6:00, there was this awesome rain shower going on outside. It sounded great, but there was this additional pouring that was part of the sound. I thought, well, that's unusual. Maybe one of the gutter spouts is pouring water. So I got up to look out, and I looked out the window, and it was a beautiful cloudless day. Oh man. So I looked in the hallway, and water was just gushing down from the attic everywhere, down the walls, through the sagging holes in the ceilings, down the stairs to the downstairs. We were just flooded. Our hot water pipe, heater broke something inside, and it just dumped. So we get the household water turned off, get on the horn with the insurance companies and the contractors and the plumbers, and we mopped up water for about 3 hours until the first people started to get there and help us out. And the house, the first thing they did was bring in a demolishing team to rip out all of the soaked gypsum board. And okay, so you can imagine it's gone like that all week. We have no hot water still. The house water is turned off. So we're living out of buckets and the containers that we use during hurricane season. Today went over to a friend's that gotta have a shower. I cannot live washing myself out of a bucket and any longer, especially since I got a show today. So Monday, first thing Monday morning, new hot water heater goes in, and then we can turn water on again, and huzzah. So the place is ripped out. It's drying out. That's what all the fans are. And the big loud things that they put on while we were starting this thing and the network died was massive, gigantic dehumidifiers. And unbelievably loud. I don't know how we're going to sleep tonight, but such is life. And that's where a day or two ago, the networking equipment got soaked as part of the drippage, and that got replaced, and you get the idea. Wow. So we can live in it. Starting Monday, it's luxury camping right now. It's just cold water with shelter over our head, and we have electricity and gas to cook with and all that. So it's not the worst thing that's ever happened, but it's not a ton of fun, I got to tell you. And I am just choking on this stuff. But I have no idea how long it's going to take the insurance companies and the contractors to find a meeting of the minds, and us too. So reconstruction begins 2023. Who knows when it restarts? It looks like it's only going to take a week or so, maybe less than that, but we'll see. Okay. That's that nonsense. This weekend starts Black Friday sales in the US. So if you're watching Black Friday sales and you see cool pie stuff, come on, send me an email, drushtx at Yahoo, daveR@totalsem.com. I want to know. And just before we started the show today, excuse me, I got a Black Friday sale that starts today or first thing in the morning from Udemy. So if you're looking for classes, especially Total Seminars courses, you could pay full price at whatever we charge, $1,500, $3,000 for a course on our website, or you could get a very similar course at the very awesome, incredible prices that Udemy does. We don't set the prices, they do. They decide what's selling well and what doesn't, and they set their prices. Last week, we did an update in versions of Raspberry Pi OS. We updated to Bullseye. And as with all new things, there's always glitches that get found after the fact. And there's one particularly hairy one for some people. If you use or have official Raspberry Pi cameras, they plug into the official slot on the Raspberry Pi board. It's got issues. There's workarounds, but they may not be appropriate. They're certainly working on fixing that. But if you play with Raspberry Pi official cameras, you might want to hold off on upgrading to Bullseye, or just read about Raspberry Pi, official Raspberry Pi camera and Bullseye upgrade. You'll find the all kinds of links that are discussing that issue. Holiday schedule. The only holiday schedule thing that I know is today changed to open topic instead of part 2 of eSpeak. I'm going to do the eSpeak talking clock thing then on December 3rd. And I'm looking at abandoning the 3-part series. I mentioned this about some heavy hardware stuff. I think it's cool, but I don't think it's really CompTIA appropriate. And I think it's kind of above and beyond what I would want to teach as a basic electronics. So I got 3 on the schedule, but I'm going to toss them. But I do have 1 on the schedule for whenever we go again in December, December 10th, probably. We're going to use Image Magic, all one word, and it ends in CK. Very cool utility. Last of the news items, I have collected and outlined enough topics to start this new series that I've talked about. This won't be a total seminar series. This is going to be a Dave Rush does Rocky Linux and Red Hat Enterprise Linux. It'll be a 1-hour show once a week. I don't know when I'm going to do it yet, but we're working on it. But I got enough shows and enough outlines to do a full series. So stay tuned for details on that. My guess, given we've got holidays and all this stuff coming up, I will not start it until January, or worst case February, but I'm targeting January. All right, that takes care of that stuff. I just have one more thing on my outlines, but let's go see what's happened while I was yammering there. Time, we finished up at about 2:52. There we go. Fire Square link is up at 2:55. Andre, that was a good line. At 2:55, Andre says, I'm reconfiguring some corn, making popcorn. Wilson's talking to Andre about his DHCP issue. Oh. Okay, your phones and printers are on static. All laptops are DHCP, so unless I reboot new laptops, I don't know, give you what I got. Cold showers are something. The best. Connor Wellman is here. Greetings, Connor. Got your stuff sent in. I think I sent it in. Well, you may have already been done now. I didn't. I sent a message to Mike on his show on Wednesday, but it didn't get read. Everybody whose stuff has been sent in to CompTIA up until last week has received their vouchers. So last week's stuff got sent in on, it didn't get sent in on Friday night, got sent in on Monday morning because of my travels and because of the flood, but CompTIA has that in hand. They've been reacting pretty quickly, couple weeks, 1 to 2 weeks typically. They may want to pile up a little bit more. Whoever wins today, I will add that to my send pile for this week, and I will send this week's winners tonight. So we are reasonably up to date, and there's nobody in the past who had an issue that hasn't been fixed. They've all been fixed and they have received their vouchers. So we're streamlining the process. Reading questions here, passing 304. Conversations between Andre and Wilson, back and forth. Red Hat, yes. Oh, just having a good time with Red Hat. And Ulysses, what we've done is I'm not installing and using Red Hat because that's a paid enterprise version, but Rocky Linux is a clone of Red Hat. It's what they call a downstream clone. So it is functionally identical to Red Hat. It's just free and you don't get support from it. So we're doing everything on Rocky. But it's identical to what and how you would do it on real Red Hat or CentOS if you're still using CentOS. which will be going away. And then they've got a new upstream one coming up. Name is Amala, something like that. Yeah, it's going to be a good show. BM, do have your information in. That was cool. Thanks. Yeah, don't set your leases too long. I think a day is too short. I think a week is too long. I typically 2-3 days on mine. No, you have not received yours yet, BM. I sent it in. You have not received it. You said this on Mike's show on Wednesday. I told you that it's been submitted and it has not been sent out yet, and it has not been sent out yet. They will get to it. They have your info. So when I say it's been taken care of, I mean, it's off my shoulders now. I have given it to them and they are working at the pace that they work at. Yes, sent us. Okay. Good. Caught up here. Yes, CentOS rapidly and suddenly achieved end of support life, and they really kind of left everybody in the lurch about that. That's okay, BM. All right, last thing on my handy dandy little notes here. Overwatch, are you here? Let me see. I know you haven't posted anything yet. Let me try this. At over. No, okay. I have an answer to Overwatch's question, and in case he or she watches this on the archive later, I'm going to post something in. I'm going to post a link. That's what I'm going to do in the YouTube chat. This is the answer to his question. Her question. I don't know what Overwatch is, who Overwatch is, but Overwatch posted a question and said, "Hi, Dave, do you know how to undo audit mode on Windows 10 Pro to OOBE? My PC is stuck on an incomplete installation error and a reboot loop, and I'm unable to access command." And so I did a little research on that this week, and we talked about it on Discord, and he said, basically the answer is, never mind. I rebooted my machine and reinstalled everything from scratch. But they were still curious about the answer. I was still curious about the answer. So I did some research, and the answer is in this link at time, I don't know, about 12 minutes after the hour, second hour. Tulowit's gone. He has a new slice of life blog. Back channel, if you would post the two blogs, Andrews and Tulowitz, I'll put up the pardon me, friend of show plugs slide. So we got lots of folks who come here to listen, to learn, to ask questions, to add comments, to teach. And they also, some of them have their own YouTube blogs and other blogs that they would like to make available to you. So Andrew Hutz works for Total Seminars, also participates in Discord and YouTube. He's got a great security oriented, computer security oriented site over at tgasec.wordpress.com. Tulowit has a YouTube channel, a blog where he does slices of life. He just posted a new slice of life video this week. I haven't even looked at it yet, so do check it out. And Elbow hasn't been around for a while, and I've tried to find him and no such luck. Okay, Scott posted both the links for Andrew and Tulowit at 3:13. Thank you, Senor Scott. Stop share. Good. What else we got on these slides here that we can do? The voucher winner slide, pi square. All right. I got everything except the voucher winner. So we'll do that in short order here, probably the next 10 minutes or so, maybe less, depending on questions. I got to leave that up because I'm going to need that. Let's see what happened. I just saw something that terrified me, but I hopefully read that. Okay, CentOS, nice. ESL, confused what you meant. Join us on Discord. Yep, Andre says, remind to join us. Oh yeah, so Andre is reminding you, Wilson, to join us on Discord. Guys, would you throw the Discord link up one more time, please? For anybody who didn't get it at the beginning of the show, we're going to be on there 10 minutes after the show ends here, whatever time it ends. I see Scott posting it as we speak. All right, reading messages here. Yeah, we can work it out together. Do I play with Arch? No, I can't say that I really do. I've installed Arch. Andrew Hutz has been playing with Manjaro a lot in the last week or two. And he's getting my juices going. I went and started to do some digging last night. Discord link reposted again at 3:15. Thank you, sir. 1 hour and 15 minutes into the show. I know it's not 3:15 your time. So yeah, I'm getting a little bit excited about Manjaro. I'm going to do a Manjaro install one night late next week when everybody's here in town and they've had enough and they're stuffed full of turkey and whatever. I'm going to come in here. I'll do a Manjaro install. And if I like it and I'm interested, then I will do that as a presentation. My big issue as ever is I want you to be able to see as much as possible. So we'll go from there. Now, if you mess around with straight Arch Linux, it doesn't have a graphical user interface, and that's fine. That's great for those of us who really enjoy doing that. But there's a lot of people who say, I want to try something new and different. But you know, I grew up playing Windows and I need a graphical user interface, and I'll learn the text interface, the command line as I need it, but I got to start there. And that's where Manjaro comes in really well. If you play with Arch, you have to build Arch. Arch follows the old Unix Linux paradigm that says if it were an airplane, you would have a bunch of parts and no instruction manual, and you just got to start assembling it and making it work. And there's a lot to it, right? Because you got a lot of things in your computer that are going to need drivers and components and elements, and that has to get incorporated into the operating system, and it can be challenging. So Manjaro has taken Arch and made it easy. They've done two things. One, it has a graphical user interface, and two, it does an excellent job of identifying your hardware and automatically installing the appropriate drivers and elements necessary to make that work. So Manjaro is a nice entree into Arch Linux. Now we add to it then the additional complexity of Arch on Raspberry Pi, Arch on an ARM processor. There's lots of Arch Linux out there, and Manjaro. I'm going to say that back channel just so you know, but I expected you to wax a little more eloquent than what you just posted back there. Anyways, so Manjaro's a nice entree into Arch, and its underlying is Arch. So that'd be cool. Thank you, Andre. You passing already, huh? Reading questions here. Ulysses posts a bunch. I'm probably going to test this Garuda Linux. Okay, haven't played with that. Got to make it stable though, right? That's the challenge as ever with an Arch Linux. Did you apply all the right stuff, the missing stuff, the right version stuff? So Andrew, who has been playing with Manjaro lately, and I was about to ask you, I'm not sure that I know the answer to this question. You know, put this in the live feed. You don't have to do this back channel, but okay, so simple. I'm reading back channel stuff here. It's safe to read out loud. All from Andrew. Manjaro is great. What a marvelously poetic sentence from one of our writers. Thank you. And then he says Manjaro for ARM is way behind its x86 counterpart. Sure, not nearly as large a community for that. And Arch in general seems weak, better for a VM. Well, in the Arch research that I did this week, Andrew, I haven't played Arch for real in 2.5 decades. The general impression obviously comes from the community who loves it, and they don't seem to express that weakness. In fact, there's a lot of people who have made it their daily driver. So your mileage may vary. Michael, if you're watching the show live, I'm not going to post what you just posted because I know why you're thinking it, and you may or may not be right. All right. Back to questions here. Shocking word. Sounds like fun and a lot of work. Yeah, but again, it's not a lot of work for when you're installing Manjaro. There is a pretty simple looking Manjaro install for Raspberry Pi. All right, caught up on questions. I'm feeling like the contest. We're about due to give away a voucher, aren't we? So let me get my ducks in a row here. I have to have all kinds of files up to do this. I had a plan last week that because of this week's crisis, I'm not going to do. I'm going to have to move that to another thing. That's the template. What's today? This is the 19th. So I got to go to way down here. Goodness gracious, 11/19. And there it is. Okay, so that's going to be the interest for today's contest. Oh, I like this one. Okay, I'm going to change this up a little bit. Okay, that's going to be the contest. And now I have to update this document and that document. I'm sorry, again, because of so many changes this week, I'm behind. That's how it goes. So we're going to do the same kind of thing that we've done for the last couple of days. We're going to do guess a number between a particular range. I'm going to use a pseudo random number generator in just a second. Plug in this range, let it come up with a number between my top and bottom values. And then I'm going to tell you what the range is, give you a couple of minutes to take a guess. And I don't know what the number is going to be, if it's going to be low or high in that range. So I'm going to set the rule now that says closest to without going over. Makes it a lot easier to figure out because I'm doing a fairly long range here. So let me go over. I'll tell you the random number generator site that I'm using too. It's really easy. So you can try and cheat the system and see if it generates the same random number that I do. I'm going to do it multiple times. I'm going to click it a handful of times here. Copy that. It's called, it's really tough to remember, randomnumbergenerator.com, all one word. So let me go to that site. Let me plug in my top and bottom numbers on the range. And by the way, when it generates a random number, it includes the bottom and the top possible numbers. So it's inclusive. Okay, I got a number here. I'm going to do it just on that first hit. That's a nice number. I like it. So let's put this in here. And let's put it in here. Beg your pardon. Okay, rules of the game here. Got to go back up to my rules. This is a contest for a CompTIA test voucher. The voucher is good for any CompTIA exam except CYSA anywhere in the world that CompTIA tests are offered. The winner will send an email to me with some info that I'm going to show you after the contest. So winner, do not leave after the contest until you see the stuff that we post up here. Back channel, I have 2 pieces that get posted on the YouTube chat there. They don't all fit. There's more than 200 characters. So do one and then do the other, please, because I'm having trouble with that second half not getting done and I'm having to contact people back and it's a real pain. So you're going to send me an email with the information, what I need, and I will gather that information. And I will send it to CompTIA tonight. So I need you to respond to me tonight, please. They're going with the winners from Mike show. Very good. Thank you, back channel. And when CompTIA gets this information, they will send you the voucher when they get to it. I don't know what their timetable is. They're trying to get to it quickly. They caught up on all the old ones, but the last week or two, they're still working on. And they may be letting them pile up in there. I don't know. I don't bother them because they are so nice to do this with us and for us that I don't want to pester them and say, yeah, Rush keeps calling and asking, I'm going to stop the program. Not going to happen on my account, right? The contest rules, no previous winners of vouchers on my show or on Mike's show. We're trying to make this fair. We want to spread the love so that lots of people get an opportunity to do this. Once we start filling lots of people, most people have won vouchers a lot, then we'll open it up for second ones. And, you know, we may do that again. We try to, if we decide to do allow second voucher participants, we're going to give a higher weight to someone who has not yet won one. That makes sense. It's kind of fair. So we're trying to make it as fair as possible and spread it around a little bit. We try to make this contest as fair as possible. I think random number guessing is pretty darn fair compared to some other methods. What's not fair about it is depending on where you are in the world and where YouTube is, how they're contacting you, you may send information in that you see turn up on your feed first, but doesn't turn up on my feed first. It's the one that appears on my feed first that's closest to the randomly selected number without going over is the winner. I'm human. I make mistakes, seldom, but it happens. So once I announce the winner, right or wrong, that's who wins. No do-overs, no appeals. I'll post my info. I'll post everything after the winner's here. Disclaimer, operate in good faith. We do everything. Yeah, I did all that junk. Okay. So let me get my messenger up to watch posts here. And you are going to pick a random number between and including 444 and 777. Person who is closest to the number selected by the pseudo random number generator without going over wins. Just decimal. You don't have to post it in binary or anything like that. I know I dragged that out so long. I'm sorry. I won't do that so long next time. I'm just trying to cover all my bases. I am not seeing a single entry yet other than humorous entries like MD5 and SHA-250. Here we go. Now I'm getting to see numbers. Oh, back channel. Let me show you the number here. So you can help. All right. Everybody's kind of keeping Patricia Grace. Oh man, that's incredible. Oh goodness gracious. Another 45 seconds or so. We got lots of people here. I want to see lots of participants in this. Go back to this page here. What's going on there? Okay, nothing. There was something I needed to see somewhere, but doesn't matter where. Ulysses, what are you doing there? Let's see. Nobody's doing out of range. Well, except Ulysses with his pi number. Yeah, I know, Andrew. That started happening, and I was like, no, there's no way that I could have telegraphed because I didn't post anything on the Zapto machine today. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, we got 22 people watching here. There's only a few previous winners and a few ineligibles because they work for Total Seminars. So a couple more entries. I'm just looking at some of the numbers, see if I can start figuring out who's going to be. Oh, I think, okay, well, of the entries so far, I think I see the closest. Reading, okay, here comes a few more. 10 more seconds. I'm going to count down to 10, and then I'm going to pick ein Winner. No A, B, C, or D's. Ulysses, you only get one entry, buddy. And it's always going to be your first one. So whatever you put in there is your first entry is the one that I'm going to use if we need it. All right, I think our time has expired here. Yeah, that's exactly what I saw back channel. So this is absolutely incredible. Let me tell you what the number is. and you guys can look over and see if you figure out who. I got to tell you, Steady Shark, Brent Peterson, and Esteban, you're going to hate me because the number is 563. You were all so close, but all over. So the closest number that I saw through the whole range happened to be Ulysses' first guess of 555. I did not give this one away anywhere, so I know it's not a cheat. That's just bloody outstanding. So Ulysses, back channel, if you will post that stuff, and I will post the slide of it. Here's what you need to do to claim your prize, Ulysses. Let me get my share screen up here. There it is. Click, click, share. You're going to send an email to me at daveR@totalsem.com. You've sent emails to me in the past at other email addresses. Do not use them. You must use this one. Identify your YouTube name. He says he can't win. Did you win already? You going to make me do that? Hang on, let me look this up. You know what? I remember you did win already. Wow. Okay, let's go find the next closest. Scott 563. Who was closer? Thank you for your quick honesty there, amigo. I'm going to guess that it'll be in the 500s. I don't see, that was the only 500 guess. So we're going to work in the high 400s. There's a 449 from Catherine. 43. Okay, thank you, Andrew. That's what I get too, Scott. Catherine, congratulations. You have won said freebie. So let me change this up here real quick, get my notes in there. Catherine. A lot of people close to you. That was interesting. Hang on, sorry, I got to go do something. There it is, Catherine, 449 at this time. There we go, save that. Move this. Ulysses, what an honest man. Thank you, Ulysses. Your kudos to you, my friend. I would have caught it later, but then you would have won because I said winner's a winner. Okay. So back channel has posted at time mark 3:30 on how to contact me and what to do. And then of course you see it also up here on my screen. So you're going to send me an email to daveR@totalsem.com, identify your YouTube name and your real name, the one that you're going to register your voucher with CompTIA. Send me your email address. Don't include it in the body of the email. I can't use the one from the header. Specify exactly which exam you want to take. Be specific. 220-1001, N10-1008, whatever it is. The country where you plan on taking your exam, and if it's in the United States, which state. That's the info you got to send to me. When I get that, I will add it to the other ones I'm sending tonight and is going out tonight. Now, you and I have emailed in the past before. I know that you can respond quickly because I was the one to slow respond to you when that happened last time. So we're cooking there. All right. Well, congratulations, Catherine. Way to go. Next week, it'll be a little more, our next show, whenever that is now, December 3rd. Yeah, I think December 3rd. I'm going to have a more interesting way to select the winners. All right, reading, yeah, catching up here then. Now's the time to ask any additional questions, post any additional comments. I'm going to go through that. I'm going to do my shutdown spiel, and we're going to close down just a tad early today, unless I get a lot more questions between now and then. So cool. Yes, you did already have one. I'm such an idiot. I should study these and memorize them first. Or when I see the winner name, I should look it up first. You know, the problem is, the reason I don't is when I put winners in, I learn your real names and I kind of lose track of your YouTube names. Oh, this person won. Yes, you were exactly almost right. You had all the numbers in there. They were all unique. So Esteban, no, I'm sorry you didn't win. You were really close, but you were over. We were looking for the closest number going under. Reading questions. Patricia had 563. Ha, yeah, eventually. Sorry, just reading your comments to it about each other. Right, a lot of people do that, Catherine. They will wait until after I announce the number and then they put that in. But we know where the cutoff is. Yes, no, Patricia Grace has not won a voucher. Or yeah, hell, I don't know who won, and I'm not going to try and figure it out. Dave is the best way back. Okay, I question Dave. What is the best way to back up Windows? Well, that's not a fair question because there are ways, and it all depends on what your goals are, right? So we talk about the grandfather method, and later on you're going to get introduced to a new parental, subparental unit, things like that. But look, when you get down to it, all backups start with a full backup, and then you have to back up any changes. Now, full backup means everything on your computer, the operating system, all the applications, all of the files that you've generated and downloaded, and everything, the entire hard drive. And now tomorrow it changes. So you want to back whatever's new up, stuff that's got deleted. So now you've got choices. Do you just want to back that stuff up so that next time you restore the last complete backup, and then you back up anything that's changed? That works. You could do that. Then you got to do it again the next day and the next day and the next day. Sometimes people do that monster complete disk backup, and then the next day made some changes. I'll back that up. And then the next day added a few more changes. So we'll back up these and these. And the next day, a few more and these. And what that kind of restore is really cool. You restore the last complete drive backup that you did, followed by the last, what they call differential backup that you've done. That's a good way. Another good way that kind of happens automatically is to do these online cloud storage ones, cloud backups. They start out by slowly backing up your entire hard drive. And then every day as you make changes in real time, every time you make a change, add a file, subtract a file, they make a similar change to the backups. And they do a fresh backup, actually, backup new stuff. And it's all encrypted. So, people are comfortable with it being safe. I just think that it's a long time to restore if you ever have to get that point. Some people just back up the data files and download files that they do, so that if the system ever crashes, you do a fresh install of Windows, and then you restore the installed data files. You have to reinstall your applications and things like that. So what's best? I don't know. For me, I regularly, about once a month, do an image backup. I back up my entire hard drive, and then I operate for the month. And if I lose some stuff that happened in that month, tough bananas. But otherwise, if I crash, I go back to the last full image backup and restore from that. But it's a personal preference thing. There's no right answers here, except for CompTIA exams. But they don't ever ask you what's the best. They just want you to know the differences between full backups, incremental backups, and differential backups. For now. Time mark 3:35. Andre DeGoyer losing track of YouTube and real names. Yeah, no, you're right. For totally different reasons. Basically, because I've come to know you in the last year and a half or longer. Yeah, so that's your answer. Back up the entire system, sure. The only problem with that method is takes a lot of space, especially if you're not overwriting the last backup every time you do. Not going for a voucher. All right, you don't have to. But you got a year from the time they issue them. Andre likes full followed by incrementals. Okay. You can use the voucher. Exactly, right. Patricia, use that. Go for a voucher and use it for your Sec Plus when you get there. Valid for a year. Man, I'm like Andre's echo. Everything he says, I wind up repeating. Avanette, I also want to know about backing up, replacing hard drive and clean install Windows. Want to save personal data. There you go. Here, I'll tell you what, I will look up the, Mike did a presentation on all the backup methods and all the restore methods. So let me see here. Mike answers questions about differential and incremental backup methods. Was that a whole show? Now, there was no feature here. How long was that? Okay, Mike did an 8-minute presentation on a link that I'm about to post. Backup presentation at, what's the time mark on this? 36:34 on. Okay, so I just posted a link at the present time, about 40 minutes past the hour, where Mike talks about differentials and incrementals. And I thought he did a full presentation on backup. So let me check that just to make sure. There's one, there's two. Oh yeah, there we go. I got another link coming up for you. A full feature presentation on April 22nd of 2020. This is the one you want to watch. There we go. Posted. Excuse me. All right, checking if there's any other questions here. I'm living dangerous, no backups, files stored in the cloud. Well, that's not no backup. Files are stored in the cloud. I guess, yeah, right. If you just mean you're sporadically putting files in there, that's the different animal as opposed to backing up to the cloud. That's a little dangerous. I have a dead machine here that it's got a wipeout hard drive that I didn't back up. I regret it, and I just have been lazy. I've had it for 2 years. I need to send it to a pro to get that data recovered. There is really, really important data on there that I'm going to need in, I guess, the next year. And so I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and go find a company that I trust and will fix that drive. It's got click of death, and it's got to be fixed exact, because I did something creative with it. I made a mount point of it, and that has tied it into the rest of the system, and the rest of the system is tied into it. I can't boot, even though that hard drive has nothing to do with my boot hard drives, which are SSDs. So it's a real, I will never do a mount point in Windows again. I do mount points all the time in Linux. They're perfectly fine, but doing it in Windows, that was an experiment that resulted in badness. All right, well, I think we're kind of winding things up here. It's getting quiet. Let me see what's here in my close them up notes, because I have close them up notes, you know. I'll move that there. Well, my phone's just wonking like crazy here. I want to talk about that. I talked about that last week. We talked about the holiday schedule. Mike's show this Monday, no special feature. He does have a special feature coming up. I believe he said on December 8th, Dr. James Stanger, who we've had on the show before, he works for CompTIA, is going to come on and talk about edge routing, I think, something like that. He came on once or twice before with, he will knock you out with what he knows and how good he can present this stuff. So really encourage you, if you don't catch any other Mike shows, catch Mike shows on December 8th with Dr. Stanger. It's going to be educational. It's going to be interesting. I guarantee. Let me see. I see a couple other things here. That is correct, Andrew. We have no information why, and we have no reason to believe that's ever going to change. So if it ever does, I will communicate that, but nothing on CISA yet. Right. CISA is the only one not available to win. All right, well, let's wind this thing up then. How do I do that? I do this and I move this here and then I move that there. That's weird. I got weirdness going on, but that's all part of the way things are going this week. See you again on Monday's Mike's show and on his Wednesday show. no, we got to talk about it, whether or not he's going to do a Wednesday show, because that's the day before Thanksgiving here. So we'll do some kind of announcement or pre-recorded announcement if there's not going to be shows. I will see you again on December 3rd. And until then, as ever and always, my gratitude to Scott Jernigan and Andrew Hutz working the back channels, Michael Smyer was working the back channel, Mike Myers for letting us have this time get together with you. And of course, most importantly, to all of you who come here to participate, you make the show what it is. I am Dave Rush. I'm the senior instructor at Total Seminars, resident Pi specialist. And I wish you a great weekend. Take care of each other. Take serious steps to stay healthy. Call or visit your parents and the rest of your family. And never forget, technology is great, but the greatest resource we have are you and I. And with that, good night. I'll see you on Discord in about 10 minutes and at the AMA next week. Until then, I am out of here.